There is a version of you, one you've worn for years, that's built not from truth, but from repetition. It's the thoughts you replay when no one's listening, the emotions you've memorized over and over again, the memories you've clung to, not because they serve you, but because they're familiar. And as long as you keep embodying this old version of you, your life cannot and will not change. Because change isn't about what you do. It's about who you are while you're doing it. Most of the weight you carry isn't physical. It's invisible. It's the tightness in your chest every morning. The quiet self-sabotage you justify as just being realistic. The voice that whispers, "Don't get your hopes up." That voice, that tension, that emotional gravity pulling you back into old patterns. That is the old self. And it's not just a habit, it's a frequency. Like a background song stuck on loop, your old identity plays over and over, while your future waits on pause. Here's the truth few people will say out loud. You cannot step into a new reality while still resonating with the energy of your past. But most people try anyway. They think if they just think better thoughts, visualize more clearly, or write the perfect script, life will shift. But beneath those rituals, they're still waking up in the same emotional climate, still anticipating the same setbacks, still carrying the same wounds. They're using new tools, but from the same identity. And that's why nothing sticks. Let's get honest. The identity you've been living through, your old self, wasn't born from inspiration. It was sculpted in moments of fear, rejection, and survival. It was crafted as protection, a mask, a defense, a way to stay safe when life felt unsafe. And over time, that mask stopped feeling like armor and started feeling like you. But what if that isn't you at all? What if that inner voice saying you're not ready or this is too much isn't your intuition, but your past talking? Quantum physics teaches us something wild. Reality doesn't exist as a fixed thing until it's observed. It's all just potential, infinite possibilities, until your state of being causes it to collapse into form. You don't just live in the field. You are the field, embodied, focused, vibrating. So here's what that means. Every morning you wake up and re-identify with your old self. You collapse the same exact reality again. Not because you're cursed, not because the universe is testing you, but because the field reflects coherence. You are the signal. You are the tuning fork, and life simply echoes the energy you emit. That's why manifestation isn't about becoming someone new. It's about unlearning everything that's not really you. The old self just wants to keep you safe. But safety isn't the same as freedom, and staying safe often means staying stuck. That identity you've carried, shaped by old stories, shame, failure, or fear, cannot walk you into the life your soul envisions. That life, it's not waiting in the future. It exists now in a parallel vibrational state. You don't chase it, you tune into it. But here's the catch. You can't access that reality while staying emotionally loyal to the version of you who created the wounds. You can't keep rehearsing guilt, shame, or self-doubt and expect to unlock expansion. You can't keep reliving yesterday and expect tomorrow to look different. So what do? We break the cycle, not with aggression, not with force, but with awareness. We meet the old self, not to shame it, but to finally set it down. We honor what it taught us, then we let it go. Because the field isn't asking you to try harder. It's simply asking you to resonate differently. You're not stuck because your future isn't real. You're stuck because your identity keeps collapsing the same reality again and again. But when you shift the signal, when you release the weight, when you stop trying to be someone else and just stop being who you no longer are, that's when something incredible begins. Life doesn't change because you forced it. It changes because you changed. And that change doesn't begin outside of you. It begins within. Right now, as you listen, something has already started stirring, not from the outside, from within you. Are you ready to meet the version of you who's already free? Let's keep going. But don't forget to subscribe for more videos. You wake up. Same bed, same ceiling, same story looping quietly in the background of your mind before your feet even touch the floor. Maybe today will be different. But by the time you stand up, your body has already made a choice. And it didn't choose change. Why? Because long before your conscious thoughts come online, your subconscious identity has already taken the wheel. You're not stepping into a new day. You're stepping back into a memorized version of you. The body doesn't just remember your routines, it remembers your chemistry, your reactions, your emotional baseline. Not as abstract ideas, but as biological habits. Over time, emotions become patterns. Patterns become identity. Identity becomes your reality. And eventually, you stop meeting life in the present moment. You start replaying it. Every day becomes a remix of yesterday. Same feelings, same fears, same thoughts, dressed in slightly different clothes. According to Dr. Joe Dispenza, by the time you're 35, 95% of who you believe you are is simply memorized behavior. Emotional responses, unconscious reactions, hardwired beliefs, programmed survival patterns. That means most of what you call you isn't you. It's a loop. Bruce Lipton expands on this. The moment you change your perception, you begin to rewrite the chemistry of your entire system. Because how you perceive life, emotionally, chemically, vibrationally, is literally scripting the story you live. And that's why change feels so heavy sometimes. You're not just trying to think a new thought. You're trying to rewire the addiction your body has developed to your old identity. Yes, addiction. The self that's always prepared for rejection, that expects betrayal, that believes it's safer to expect nothing. That self isn't broken. It's addicted to its own chemistry. At some point, maybe long ago, your system decided that struggle was safer than uncertainty. That emotional contraction was more manageable than hope. So it made suffering familiar. And in the mind-body system, familiar means safe. Even if it hurts, that's the true cage, not the world around you, but the emotional home you keep returning to, even when it's draining you. So here's the question. What emotional states do you live in the most? Is it regret, shame, doubt, insecurity? What if those emotions aren't random? What if your body is rehearsing them every day? Because that emotional cocktail is part of the identity your system has memorized. And here's the kicker. If your emotional signature is anchored in lack, fear, or unworthiness, then that is what the quantum field receives. Not your affirmations, not your dreams, not the vision board on your wall. It receives your baseline broadcast dash. The frequency you carry in your breath, your posture, your reactions, your energy. And then it reflects it right back. You might say you want love, but if your inner signal says, "I'm not enough," you'll unconsciously repel intimacy. You might visualize abundance, but if your nervous system is bracing for collapse, you'll miss the opportunities right in front of you, or sabotage them when they come. Not because you're unworthy, but because you haven't yet updated the version of you that knows how to receive. And this is why change feels stuck, even when you're doing all the right things. Because transformation isn't mental. It's vibrational. It's cellular. It's embodied. So what now? We start by noticing the pattern, not with shame, but with clarity. The version of you that's been repeating this emotional loop, that's not truth. It's just a habit, a practiced state, a frequency you can release the moment you stop identifying with it. This isn't self-rejection. This is self-liberation. It's giving yourself permission to stop living through a version of you that was never designed to thrive, only to survive. The world that required you to wear that mask, it's gone. And here's where something beautiful happens. The moment you observe the old self with awareness instead of attachment, you become the observer. And in quantum terms, that changes everything. Because the observer collapses the wave. The moment you witness the pattern, you are no longer inside it. You're outside, watching. And that shift, from identification to observation, is the first crack in the wall of your old reality. It's the opening, the new beginning, the access point to something entirely different. Now let's go deeper. Let's pause here. Not to stop the shift, but to invite a new question. What if you're not here to attract a new life, but to tune in to the version of you that's already living it? We've been taught to ask, to believe, to wait. And when it doesn't come, we think we're broken, blocked, or doing it wrong. But what if the real issue isn't your desire, but the identity you're still broadcasting? The quantum field doesn't react to words. It doesn't negotiate with vision boards. It doesn't care how badly you want something. It responds to one thing only: your state of being. This is the law of vibrational coherence. Coherence is when your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions are no longer in conflict. It's when your yes is whole, unified, not just in your head, but in your nervous system, your chemistry, your breath. This isn't about saying, "I'm abundant," while living in a state of fear. The field doesn't hear what you say. It hears what you are. It hears the "not enough" beneath your mantras. It hears the "I'm still waiting" beneath your visualizations. It hears the static beneath your scripted affirmations. And it reflects that frequency back to you. Think of the field as a mirror. You don't raise your right hand and expect the reflection to raise its left. If you want to see a different reflection, you must shift first. But here's where most people struggle. They're trying to access the future through the lens of the current self. The self that's still afraid, still proving, still doubting. But the version of you who already lives the life you want, they are not simply more confident. They are energetically different. They feel different. They respond differently. They don't want. They are. They don't broadcast someday. They vibrate already. Let's go deeper. Every thought you think sends out an electrical signal. Every emotion you feel radiates magnetically. Together, they form your vibrational broadcast, a signal constantly emitted into the quantum field. That signal doesn't say, "I want." It says, "This is me." So ask yourself honestly, what are you broadcasting? Is your inner frequency aligned with the timeline you say you're ready for? Or are you still anchored in fear, scarcity, doubt, or delay? This isn't about guilt. It's about precision. The field responds with perfect clarity. Not to your goals, to your energetic congruence. That's why trying to manifest from a wounded self feels like swimming against a current. You're trying to build a future from the architecture of the past. You're pushing instead of receiving. You're controlling instead of resonating. You're projecting instead of becoming. So what's the alternative? You stop chasing and you start embodying. You stop trying to pull the future toward you and you begin to rise into its frequency. That's the pivot. That's the quantum key. Let me say this clearly. You are not manifesting the future. You are selecting it through who you're being right now. As Neville Goddard said, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. So who are you? Not who you want to be. Who are you being, moment by moment, emotion by emotion, breath by breath? The real work is not in thinking your way into alignment. It's in feeling, living, and moving as the version of you, who no longer waits for life to change in order to feel whole. That version of you is already here. Not in the future, but in the field, in the frequency, in the signal. You don't need to create them. You need to remember them. And once you align with their vibration, life doesn't stay the same. It can't. Because the field doesn't respond to effort. It responds to resonance. Let's make this practical. Because while it's beautiful to talk about frequency, potential, and timelines, real transformation doesn't live in the idea. It lives in the embodiment. You don't become the new you by thinking about them. You become them by walking as them, before anything around you changes. So here's the question that matters more than any vision board. Who do I need to become to match the frequency of the life I desire? Not tomorrow. Not once the evidence shows up. But now, in breath, in posture, in voice, in choice. When you become, the field responds. Not gradually, but energetically, immediately. Not always in physical form right away, but in signs, synchronicities, sensations. The subtle echoes that say, yes, you've tuned in. Keep going. That's when life stops feeling like a chase and starts feeling like a rhythm. Like you're finally dancing with something real. So what does that version of you look like? Not just visually, emotionally, energetically. If your future self walked into the room right now, how would they breathe? How would they move through discomfort? How would they speak when no one's watching? Would they be trying to prove their worth? Would they be waiting for validation? Would they still be carrying the memory of rejection like a scar? Or would they have already released all of that? Your future self vibrates from trust, from calm, from alignment. They don't manifest through perfection. They attract through coherence. Their energy speaks louder than their words. And life, people, and opportunities respond accordingly. But here's a truth most people miss. The universe doesn't bend to you because you deserve it. It bends because you're resonant with it. Resonance isn't something you earn. It's something you become. That's why the most powerful shift you can make today isn't external. It's internal. It's choosing, right now, to stop identifying with the old self and start behaving, thinking, breathing, and feeling from the version of you who already knows. And not because anything outside has confirmed it, but because you've confirmed it energetically. This is the frequency of already, the vibration of I am. So let's take it deeper. Close your eyes. Picture a doorway. On one side stands the you you've been, the one who loops in doubt, fear, and resistance. And on the other side, a presence, familiar, yet elevated. The you who has already let go. The one who radiates truth. The one who no longer needs to prove, explain, or chase. Now walk through that doorway. Not just in imagination, in energy. Feel their breath. Feel their posture. Feel their vibration. Let it infuse your body like a current. Because this isn't fantasy. This is frequency selection. You're not pretending. You're remembering. And now, ask this version of you. What did I have to release in order to become this free? Let the answer come without forcing. It might be a belief, a memory, a role you've played for too long. Whatever it is, honor it. Thank it. And let it go. Because the new self is not built by adding more. It's revealed by subtracting everything that never belonged to you in the first place. And now, make this moment real. Stand, sit, breathe. As the you who no longer collapses the past, say it out loud in full presence. I no longer collapse the past. I tune into who I truly am. Say it again, not like a ritual, like a reality reset. Because your body is listening, your cells are listening. And so is the field. When you become the new signal, life will begin rearranging around you, not as a reward, but as a reflection. Let's be clear about something. Transformation isn't a single moment. It's a practice, not of perfection, but of presence. Because the old self will try to return, not to sabotage you, but to be seen one last time, to be acknowledged, to be released again, and again, and again. This is not failure. This is integration. The shift doesn't become real in theory. It becomes real in daily choice. Each time fear rises, you pause and breathe deeper. Each time doubt replays, you remember. That's not who I am anymore. Each time an old pattern tempts you, you stand still and ask, which version of me will collapse reality today? Because that's the choice you're making. With every breath, every action, every emotion. You are not just navigating moments. You are selecting timelines. This is the real work. Not bypassing emotion, but feeling it without becoming it. Not avoiding the old self, but witnessing it without identifying. Not waiting for evidence, but living as the proof. You are not waiting for reality to confirm your worth. You're living in a way that makes external proof irrelevant. And something powerful happens here. As you stabilize your frequency, life begins to move differently. The people around you shift. The opportunities find you faster. Synchronicities show up like breadcrumbs from a timeline already unfolding. Not because you're lucky, because you're finally coherent. And that coherence, it echoes, it ripples. It reshapes not just your life, but the field around you. Because you're not just a participant in the quantum field. You are the field. You are the observer, the wave, the collapse, the creation. So here's how you make this permanent. Every morning, before the noise of the world creeps in, ask, who do I choose to be today? What frequency will I broadcast? Which version of me collapses reality now? Don't answer with your mind. Answer with your state. Breathe as that version. Walk as that version. Speak as that version. Let it be subtle. Let it be quiet. But let it be real. Because the quantum doesn't need performance. It responds to resonance. And if ever you fall, you simply come back. With love, with grace, with presence. Because coming back is the muscle. That's what builds momentum. You're not aiming to never wobble again. You're learning to recover faster. From the old identity, the old emotions, the old reflexes. And with each return, the new you stabilizes. The old timeline dissolves. The new one holds. So let's seal this moment. If you felt a shift, if you've remembered something real inside yourself, drop a declaration in the field. One sentence, one vibration, one truth. Write it as a comment. Say it aloud. Let it land in your nervous system. The old me has been released. Say it not to perform, but to declare. Because you're not just watching content. You're engaging with consciousness. This isn't a YouTube video. It's a mirror, a portal, a doorway back into the version of you who was never broken, only waiting to be chosen. And now that you've remembered, you can't forget. So subscribe, not just to a channel, but to a frequency, to a version of you that's no longer collapsing the past, to the field that's been waiting for you to arrive. The shift is real. The path is here. The only thing left is to walk it. Welcome back.